Alright, hello YouTube. Today we're going to talk about, or tonight rather, we're going to talk about, I'm going to do 3 videos: atomizers, cartomizers, tank cartomizers, how to fill them, and clearmizers. The reason I'm splitting it into 3 videos, in case anybody needs a small amount of information from one or the other, they can just simply go to that video instead of having to fast forward to 2 minutes, having to fast forward to 6 minutes. So without further ado, here we go. What I'm going to start with is the standard atomizer in a high resistance, standard resistance rather, 3 ohms. I actually found some of my old cartridges that we used to run on these things back in the day. It's pretty much a phased out way of vaping now. Atomizers are still widely used and thought of to be the best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start by threading my 510 atomizer onto my lava tube 2, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the atomizer itself. Basically, the way the atomizer is set up, you see that in the shot?
You got a flashlight.
Can you see it?
Yeah, no you can.
Alright, inside that atomizer, there's basically, it's kind of like a Genesis with the mesh. I don't think it's stainless steel, I'm not really sure what it is. Inside there's a little bit of mesh and a heating coil underneath it. Basically what you do with these, you take your juice of choice, put about 3 drops of liquid in it. I'd say 3 to 5 depending on the thickness. I'll just go ahead and put 4 in that one. And then we just slap our drip tip on it. The reason it's called a drip tip is typically you can drip the juice straight through it. I choose not to do that because I don't want juice in the mouthpiece when I go to take a vape from it and have it spit juice into my mouth, especially if it gets hot. Hot juice on the tongue never feels good. So right now I just put about 4 drops in it. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my device. It's a 3 ohm cartomizer, so I'm going to start it off around 4 volts, 4.5 volts. Go ahead and take a vape from it. That's the standard way that people use drip atomizers for dripping. The term dripping comes from actually dripping your juice into the atomizer and vaping it. Probably one of the most simple ways to vape. Not really long-term friendly for the simple fact that when you do this, if you're driving, you can't really drip and drive. You know, if you're busy doing something, you don't want to take 5 seconds, 10 seconds to drip some juice in it, put the cap back on your bottle, put the bottle away, put your drip tip back on, take some vapes from it. Primarily, I use drip atomizers for testing flavors. It usually gives you the truest flavor versus cartomizers and whatnot. Basically, you just drip it and vape it. You get about 5 out of it, and then you're going to be dripping again. Now, I don't know if you noticed before, back down here, I also have one of these old school cartridges with the rubber cap on them. These used to come pre-filled from a lot of companies with flavors. Inside of these, you're not going to be able to see it because I actually just put some juice in it. I didn't want to vape the probably 2.5-year-old watermelon that was in this, so I cleaned it out and added, I can't remember if it was RY4, I think so. Basically inside of this, there's a blue foam, just like what you would find in an aquarium. It was actually, the blue foam was actually an upgrade back in the day for all you vapors that used to vape with cartridges and atomizers. A lot of people were looking for the blue foam, what aquarium stores held it. These used to be filled with a cotton fiber filler. I assume it was probably burning, which is why they didn't continue to put that in. This company chose to put the blue filler foam. These were okay. You could vape these a little bit more long term. You'd fill them up vape them. You know, usually you'd have a 5-pack of these somewhere, or a 10-pack, or whatever. They probably called them equivalent to a pack of cigarettes, which we all know to be less than true. These simply slide into the atomizer and work as your drip tip at whatever voltage or whatever device you're rocking it on. The blue foam holds it, releases it into the atomizer, and you can vape it. It's actually a pretty good mix. Watermelon from 2.5 years ago and some RY4. That's the basic rundown on atomizers. The other thing a lot of people will do with this style atomizer, back down here, if you look inside of that atomizer, you might be able to see it a little bit. Hit it with a little bit of light. Down inside that atomizer, I don't know if you can really see, there's a little mesh bridge. One of the things some people did is they would actually take a pair of pliers or hemostats or whatever, and they would actually rip that little mesh bridge out of there so that they could put the juice directly on the coil. Every time I've attempted to do that, I've destroyed the atomizer in the process, and pretty much just makes it worthless for me, because if I destroy the atomizer, I can't vape it. This is the way I suggest running them, with a drip tip, 3 to 5 drops, vape it for a little bit, put it away, later on pull it out, 3 to 5 more, vape it again. So that's basically it for atomizers. There's a couple different styles, which I don't have. There's the Cisco 306, basically is an atomizer without the outer tube. There would be a rubber drip tip that would slide over the actual atomizer, which would hold juice. I think they held a little more juice, and they were usually a little bit lower ohms. They worked. These work. I still see them on occasion. If you're going to run an atomizer, this is a setup I suggest. A little bit higher voltage, a little bit higher ohms. You get yourself a little bit hotter vape with a drip tip. Cartridges are, like I said, pretty much phased out. Some people still got them floating around, like me. I guess I have a hard time getting rid of stuff. Thanks for watching on atomizers, and I hope to see you back for cartomizers and clearomizers later. Thanks for watching.